This is my mug. I think it looks a lot like me. Some peppermint tea. Hello, my name is Sydney. Long time no see. It is now 2025. Last time you and I saw each other, it was 2023. I didn't make a video at all last year. I actually started and stopped a lot of videos. Like I filmed a bunch of clips of various things, writing updates, creative updates, life updates, all kinds of stuff, and never saw any of them through to fruition. I'm not really sure why. I think I just kept not trying to be a perfectionist or something, but maybe I didn't. I think a lot of times I sat down to try to make a video of some kind, or would just pick up the camera randomly to film something and just didn't feel like I had my thoughts together, felt like I was filming for the sake of trying to film something, and it didn't feel very organic to me. And a lot of times I just didn't have any direction with what exactly I was trying to produce. It was sort of an unintentional break. And at some point I just kind of was like, might as well wait until next year. So yes, I'm still here. I'm still around. I'm still writing. And I have a few updates for you. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of a life update, writing update, just to let you know where I've been, what I've been up to, and what I'm looking ahead to. I'll start with the fact that today's my birthday. I'm officially the big 3-0. And the way that I feel about it is it's about time. Because frankly, with my personality, I never really vibed with my 20s. I think a lot of that is just down to societal expectations of like, I don't know, being wild and free. And I was wild and free in my own way, but not in the way that you'd expect. Most of the time, I get along better with people who are older than me than people my own age. Like, I don't really know what to do with people my own age. Like, I look at them and I'm like, gosh, you and I are not the same. This is not the age where I'm really going to be blossoming into who I am. I'm just happy to be 30. That's all I'm saying. I feel like I've finally been let into an exclusive club that I've been knocking on the door of for like many years. And I'm also happy to have the new year 2025. I'll talk about 2024 in like a little bit, but I'm just happy for the fresh start of not only the new year, but a new decade of life. So I feel very blessed and I'm very happy to be here. Today is also my dad's birthday. My dad passed away 3.5 years ago, but today would have been his 57th birthday. So I went for a walk in the woods this morning and I just talked to him. And frankly, I don't talk to him enough, but it felt really good and very cathartic to just say some of the things that I really wanted to say to him. And so, yeah, I really miss him and I really love him. And yeah, happy birthday, Daddy. Yeah, but this is an update for you guys. So, where to begin? So, why have I not been making videos? Actually, I'm gonna lower the camera a little bit. I feel like a little kid in this at this angle. All right, I think that's a little bit better. I felt like a little child. Like, hi. So where have I been? 2024 was a year. So last time we checked in, I was doing a gap year, grand tour, sabbatical, whatever you want to call it, where my husband and I quit our jobs in the middle of 2022, and we spent about a year and a half traveling the world, but also hanging out at home with family a lot. And I think we spent about half of our time traveling and half of our time at home, like a month here, a month there, that kind of thing. And it was a great year and a half. And at the beginning of 2020, well, really at the end of 2023, we both started looking for jobs to get back into the real world. 2024, right in January, so a year ago, we both got jobs. So I'm about to hit a year at my job in the middle of January. For both of us not working for a year and a half, I think we both got jobs that we really needed. My story with that was that, to give you a bit of context, I got my bachelor's degree in essentially technical writing, which if you don't know what that is, it's kind of a wide range of things. You can do anything from editing copy to designing websites to studying rhetoric. After I graduated, I worked as a technical writer. So I helped to revise and edit manuals for a particular type of equipment. And I did that for 4 years. And absolutely love the people I work with, but I found that the work itself was a little too slow paced for me. Like you'd have deadlines for projects that are like a year or 2 years away, and it was really hard to conceptualize and work with that. I ended up quitting that job, did the gap year, and now I work in quite a different field. Now I'm an editorial assistant is my title, and I work for a small company, and I do mainly their proofreading and editing, but I also help do some graphic design work. I help develop the internal training program, so it's a lot of like PowerPoint, but also this program that uses PowerPoint as a base, but makes like it's like PowerPoint on steroids kind of, to develop their training. And I do just a lot of different editorial and proofreading work. And if anybody needs any help with anything, like I'm sort of also a catch-all type of role. Like if they need help formatting a document, if Microsoft Word is being a pain in the butt, if they need something designed for an event coming up and all that kind of stuff I do. And frankly, I absolutely love this job. It takes everything that I enjoy doing and allows me to do it in one role, like particularly the editing work and the graphic design work. So I feel really lucky that I have this job that I can do those kinds of things. And so now I've been there a year, and alternatively to my last job, it's very fast paced. Instead of deadlines 1 and 2 years away, it's deadlines like sometimes 1 and 2 days away, and there's a few projects that are longer term, but most of the work is like every day is different. Sometimes I sit down and I have an idea of what I want to work on that day, but I'll have a couple of emails from people being like, "Hey, can you help me with this? And I need it by the end of the day tomorrow." Stuff like that. So it's really fun. Sometimes it can be hard to keep up. So it's definitely an exercise in time and project management, let me tell you. I work 100% remotely, so I work from home. I did take the day off work today because it's my birthday and I don't want to work on my birthday. Yeah, that's what I've been doing this last year. So I started the job in January. We got an apartment in May, and there's been all kinds of stuff that have happened. A few trips that I've taken, like I've gone to see my mom a couple of times. I actually went to London twice this past summer, which is crazy because not that I wanted to go twice. One was a group family friend trip. So those dates were already worked out. And I was already going to be going to this other writing conference. And then my husband and I went to Oahu, Hawaii in September for our anniversary. We went to Germany. We went to Heidelberg, Germany in November. And maybe I'll talk about that trip a bit more next time I'm working on Hotel Story and I make a video about that on this channel. Because Hotel Story, which is one of my novel projects, takes place in Heidelberg, Germany. And I had never been there. But after going to Yakushima, Japan to do some story research for Storm Cloud, I figured it's about time that I start going to some of these other places to do some story research for my other stories. So I went to Heidelberg, Germany, just so I can get some, get the goss on what's good in Heidelberg. And another place that I really want to go, and I'm hoping that I can go this year, but I'm not sure, is Svalbard, Norway, which I first heard of Svalbard in, where is it? Oh, it's actually too high for me to reach. I've got my book up there. But the Golden Compass series by Philip Pullman. I read that book in like 2007 or 2009, something like that. So that was the first time I'd ever heard of Svalbard. And so ever since then, I think it kind of just was sitting in the back of my head as a destination. So at some point, I think fast forward like 2017 or 2018, when I was working on Storm Cloud, I set the story there, or part of the story there. So it's Yakushima, Japan, and it's Svalbard, and it's a couple of other places as well. So I really want to go to Svalbard because the bulk of the story takes place there, actually. Only the beginning takes place in Yakushima, Japan. And if you're interested, I filmed a vlog for our Yakushima trip, so I'll link that down below. That was part of our gap year excursion. So that was a fun vlog. That was a beautiful few days that we spent there. Such a gorgeous place. What else? I guess I can get into why I haven't been making videos. So on one hand, it was kind of a stressful year. Nothing particularly bad happened necessarily. My grandma passed away. She was 98. And that was difficult. That was actually only a couple of weeks ago, so in December. But generally speaking, for the most part, the year itself wasn't bad. It was just that I was always stressed out over little things, but the little things add up. And so one of the major things that always stressed me out was the fact that I wasn't writing as much. I've always said that when I'm not writing, everything else falls apart. And that's so true. It's still true to this day. And part of the reason I wasn't writing was because I never felt like I had enough time. You know, this is a first world problem, but I became so accustomed to not having a job, voluntarily not having a job because of the gap year. In 2023, while we were on the gap year and I was not working and I had all this free time, I was doing so much writing. I wrote 2 complete novel drafts and started a third in the year of 2023. It was a great year for writing. It was one of the best writing years I've had. I didn't put up a vlog at the end of 2023, but I did start working on Project Whisper. I didn't finish it, but I wrote several new chapters and revised some others. And then I just kind of dropped the project midway through December because I decided that I wanted to finish my year restful and not like stressing towards a self-imposed writing deadline. But because 2023 was such a good year, I had all this pressure going on, self-imposed again, in 2024 to try to produce something great, try to be a very productive writer. And it actually ended up being the complete opposite. I didn't do any significant writing in 2024. There was every time I picked up probably all of my projects. I've got, gosh, 3, and I'll say a half writing projects that I'm like actively working on. I have Stormcloud, I have Hotel Story, I have Project Whisper. I don't know if you can hear that, but my cuckoo clock is going off. We went to Germany and got a cuckoo clock because that's what you do, right? Okay, sorry about that. Also, if you can hear clicking in the background, our radiator in this apartment is so ridiculously loud. So what was I saying? So I have 3 novel projects: Project Stormcloud, Project Whisper, Hotel Story, and then I have a new writing project that I actually came up with the idea for in May, but I haven't done a lot of work on it just because I was trying to focus on other novel projects. I'm not sure what this one was going to be called, but for now, let's just say Expedition. I don't know. And that's a new story idea that I came up with that I'm actually really excited about and I think is going to be a lot of fun, but I kind of want to put something else down before I pick it up. That is what I'm hoping to do this year. And I'll get more into that in a second. But first, I just want to talk a bit more about, I want to continue talking about 2024. And it wasn't the best, again, it wasn't a great writing year for me. At any point in the year, I picked up my projects once, twice, 3 times even, and just found myself hitting a wall very early on. I went to the writing conference the first time I went to London in June, and I spoke to 2 agents there. I had put together a package for Stormcloud, so they read the first 5,000 words, a synopsis, and a query letter. And so I got some feedback from there. The gist of what they had told me was that I needed to slow down in my beginning. I needed to give the reader some time to ease into the world before I start throwing some things at them. And so one of the reasons that I think they said that is because what I had as my initial opening scene, I had removed it right before the festival, before I submitted my package, because I thought that it was too slow. And as it turns out, I needed to add that scene back in. So I added it back in since then. One of the agents had told me or had recommended Save the Cat Writes a Novel. And so I got that book from my library. I got the physical copy and I got the ebook just so I could like really study it and have access to it anytime I needed to. And I think I spent the month of June basically, or maybe no, the month of July rather, because that was after the festival, studying Save the Cat Writes a Novel, trying to apply it to Stormcloud. And this is where my struggles began with the rest of 2024 not being a great writing year. When someone gives you advice on your novel, it is up to you as the writer to decide what feedback to keep, what feedback to disregard, figure out what actually works to make your story better and to get it closer in the direction that you want it to get it in. And it's not so much that the feedback that they gave me wasn't good, it was. The other thing, okay, figuring out what feedback to take and disregard, that's the first point. But the second point is also that you don't have to don't do an all or nothing approach. My mistake with this was that when it came to Save the Cat Writes a Novel, I was trying to force Stormcloud to fit Save the Cat Writes a Novel, when what I should have done was look at Save the Cat Writes a Novel, take bits of it, if any, that I think really work for my story and apply that to my story to get my story closer to what I want. But I basically did the all or nothing. I took all of it and tried to force my story into it, and it just made it so hard for me to like kind of view it objectively, like to even understand what my story was at that point. So I ended up putting it down. I put down my story. I put down Save the Cat Writes a Novel. I returned it to the library. I basically just decided that I needed to step away from all of that for a bit because I was no longer able to see the wood for the trees. So then after that, I think I picked up Hotel Story, very quickly got overwhelmed or confused about what I was trying to do, put that down. I don't even think I had the story for like a week or two before I put it down. And then I think I picked up Project Whisper, and kind of the same thing happened. I think I had just gotten so in my head. I'd lost so much confidence in my ability to like understand good writing and like what my stories needed, and just in my ability to like carry it out, that I just was not able to work on any of my projects in any sort of productive or beneficial way. So that was basically my summer, was struggling through those stories and not really making any progress with them. And so basically, I kind of just took a mental break from writing. I think I just spent more time focusing on other elements of life. I discovered this app called Index, INDYX. It's an app where you can catalog your clothes. So you take pictures of all your clothes, everything in your wardrobe that you want to take pictures of, and then you have it in the app. Everybody always talks about that scene from Clueless when Cher is like going through and she has like a digital picture and it helps her to put together her outfits digitally before she actually puts them on her body. It's basically that. So in September, I became so obsessed with this app. I did my whole wardrobe. There's still some pieces I have to put in there, but for the most part, everything is in there that I need. And I got really into clothes. So because I wasn't writing, I put all of my creative energy into clothes, coming up with outfits and figuring out where I wanted to take my personal style. And that's been really fun. And I've been really enjoying that. And I'm still enjoying it, even as we closed out 2024, even as I got back into writing again. I still am interested in clothes as well. Of course, I've always been interested in clothes, but I never put this much creative energy into it. At the end of the year, like November, I think, just in time for NaNoWriMo, and I know there was a whole controversy with NaNoWriMo. We won't get into that. But my library had Saturday write-ins in November. So I went to 3 of those, and those were really good for me. Just having something to look forward to, having a day where I can just dedicate hours to writing. And I got really into Stormcloud again. So I'm still in that place. That was November, December as well. And now it's January and I'm still in the Stormcloud headspace. I've kind of gone in and out of it a little bit in those 2 months, but for the most part, we're still here and I've got a plan. So 2025, I hope everything that I've said has made sense. I know that I've been kind of rambling and jumping back and forth a lot. I think all the main points are there. One of my, I don't even really want to call it a resolution, but it's sort of like a goal for 2025, is that I want to query Stormcloud. I've got to get this story off of my plate. I know that I say this all the time. I've been saying it for years. I've had this story, tumbling around in my head on my computer for 15 years. Since as of this past November, it's been 15 years. Obviously, it's gone through so many iterations. I've written other stories in that time. It's been a long time working on this story in any capacity, and I'm just done. I'm so ready to move on. I feel like I'm at this point stunting my growth as a writer because I'm not even able to I don't have the capacity to take on a new story right now because I still want to just get Stormcloud out because I still believe in it. I still think it's a great story. I still think it's actually increasingly more relevant as time goes on, which is really interesting. So that's good. I want to get Stormcloud off my plate. I want to query it this year. So I've got sort of a timeline. I applied to a writing competition. So I submitted that already. And that was, again, first 5,000 words and a 500-word synopsis. So I did it for Stormcloud. And with this writing competition, if you have not already completed the draft, you need to complete it by the end of February. So I have a deadline, end of February, to finish this revision of Stormcloud. So right now I am on chapter 18 of 40. One of the main things that I'm doing with Stormcloud is that I am taking it one chapter at a time, one scene at a time, even one part at a time. So the part is like a section of chapters that are all sort of thematically related within the story. Within each part, there's a theme. My character has a certain arc within each part that fits into the overall greater arc of the novel. So it's been really nice to kind of slow down, It helps me to remove any extraneous details. We don't need to learn about that yet. Right now, we're trying to focus this chapter on this specific thing, or answering this question, or exploring this mystery, whatever it is. So it's good. It's helping me to focus each chapter and slow things down a bit so that the ideas can develop more, and that it's not hopefully not overwhelming the reader with too much going on. Too many balls juggling in the air at once, you know? So that's Stormcloud. I have to finish this draft by the end of February. I want to be done with the draft. I want to take a break from the novel, maybe work on something else, and then come back to it and start line editing maybe over the summer. And while I'm line editing, or after I'm done line editing, I want to start researching agents. And then at the end of the year, the last quarter of the year, I want to start querying. So that's my plan for 2025 with Stormcloud. My other plan is that I want to start making YouTube videos again. It probably won't be a video a week just because that's not feasible for me right now. But I was thinking maybe every other week. That's kind of what I'm aiming for right now. So if you're watching this, hopefully this will go up maybe in about a week. And then I'll have another video up before January is over. So I'm aiming to do about 2 videos a month. And the way that I'm going to be doing it is that ideally, one of those videos will be a writing related video, and one of those videos will be a clothing wardrobe related video. Just because, like I said, I got really into clothing and wardrobe stuff in a new way, and I've been watching a lot of fashion girls on YouTube, and I really want to make fashion videos. I mean, nothing crazy, but just for fun. I kind of just want to have more fun on this channel. I don't want to feel like I can only make videos about writing, especially when I don't always have something to say about writing. So that's plans for the channel for 2025. So hopefully, you'll stay subscribed, or you'll resubscribe, or you'll subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video today. I will see you soon with a new video. Bye.